This ball's crushed.
We welcome you to Seattle, Washington, where this afternoon the Houston Astros will wrap up the first leg of their three-city road trip, the final game of this three-game series against the second-place team in the AL West, the Seattle Mariners. The Astros snapping a five-game losing streak last night, and in the process winning the middle game and moving their advantage over Seattle back to 4 games. They currently lead the M's by 4 and the A's by 5 in the AL West as we hit the month of August. Hi, everybody. Welcome to an afternoon of Astros baseball. I'm Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. Blummer, it would be really nice, especially for the Astros after snapping that losing streak, to come away with the series win.
Absolutely. Beating the Mariners, pushing them one more game behind them would be awfully nice, but to get on that plane again with a happy flight after winning this series would be beautiful.
During the losing streak, the offense really was a bit stagnant. Good to see the bats come alive.
Yeah, we're seeing a little bit of inconsistency, but it's nice to break up that stretch of 5 games where they were scuffling a little bit. 5 runs and 15 hits last night. What that'll do is give them some confidence, hopefully, coming into this game today, because they were a little worried about how that offense was going to go out there and score runs. But again, for the Astros, it comes down to quality ABs. That's one thing every guy up and down this lineup can do, is go out there and have quality ABs, get some pitches to hit, and we finally saw what A.J. Hinch was looking for. These guys hitting mistakes in the zone and barreling them up. We saw a couple leave the ballpark and lead to some hugs, which was awfully nice.
The impressive thing last night, they did it all without George Springer, who left the game after the first inning. So it was these guys in the heart of the order that got the job done. Josh Reddick and Alex Bregman combining for 6 hits. Evan Gattis 2 for 5, a home run, a couple of RBIs, and Gattis with good numbers in his career against today's starter, Wade LeBlanc. Couple of lefties on the mound today. It'll be Wade LeBlanc against Dallas Keuchel. We will have more from Safeco Field after this. West Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. By Arctic, overbuilt, not overpriced. And by your Houston area Hyundai dealers. Couple of lefties today on the mound, including Dallas Keuchel for the Astros, who's been very good lately.
He has been very good lately, and he's also a great guy to have pitching on getaway day. Usually when things are going well, he works quickly. We've seen him up that usage of the changeup. The ERA in July dropping to 1.65, third in Major League Baseball. A lot of it due to that changeup and that slow curveball usage. But when he is attacking early in the zone and takes command of the AB, it usually ends well for Dallas Keuchel.
A rare afternoon where Keuchel will be the harder throwing pitcher of the two starters, with Wade LeBlanc going today for the Seattle Mariners. We'll have more from Seattle's Safeco Field as Julia Morales will join us next.
Between the Astros and the Mariners, Astros looking to get a series win today, and they'll be facing the lefty Wade LeBlanc for the Mariners, who is a big part of this future here in Seattle, signing that contract extension earlier this year through 2022. The Astros looking forward at the chance to face LeBlanc. This is his fourth start against the Astros, second this year. He's our Toyota get out and play, and we're looking at the numbers for the Houston Astros against LeBlanc. Pretty good in 15 and a third innings since 2014, putting up 22 hits, 12 earned runs. A couple of guys to watch today are the ones that you watched help the Astros win last night. It was Josh Reddick, who had a good day. He is 4 for 7 with a home run off of LeBlanc, and then Evan Gattis hit his 21st homer yesterday as well. Career against LeBlanc, only 5 for 8 with 3 home runs. So as for the approach today, guys, talking to AJ Hinch and some of these guys, this team is very capable of hitting the pitches of Wade LeBlanc and what he has, but they can't swing at all of those hittable pitches. So it will be about controlling that strike zone. Pitch selection, a big key for them, as it has been the focus since the All-Star break. TK?
Absolutely, Julia. And here is the Astros starting lineup presented by Southwest Airlines. Different look at the top. Tony Kemp gets his second start in the leadoff position this year. George Springer's still a little sore after that diving attempt in center field. Alex Bregman, the shortstop. Evan Gattis DHs. Yuli Gurriel bats fourth. Josh Reddick against the lefty slots down to fifth. Max Stassi, Marwin Gonzalez, J.D. Davis, and Jake Marisnick.
Left-hander Wade LeBlanc on the mound for the Seattle Mariners. He is an ex-Astro, believe it or not. Spent a brief amount of time with the Houston Astros, but in 21 games, he has 16 starts. That record is extremely good at 6-1. 102 2/3 innings pitched, 82 strikeouts, the opponent batting average at 244. He is basically 30% fastball, 30% cut fastball, and 30% changeup. Those will be the three major pitches that he comes out there with. And Todd, talking about the lack of velocity, 85 is just a mile an hour underneath what he normally throws at 86 miles an hour.
You will not find a starting pitcher who throws the average velocity fastball any lower than Wade LeBlanc. As Julia said, it's a matter of staying patient, and a good guy at the top of the lineup to do that. Tony Kemp gets a start today at the top of the order. Kemp coming in batting .296. 21 runs scored on the season. LeBlanc has fared better against right-hand hitters than he has against lefties this year. Lefties don't see as many changeups as righties do, and that changeup's a big pitch for LeBlanc when he gets ahead. And it's up and in. Tony Kemp has a count of 3-1. LeBlanc 21 games appeared in, 17th start of the season. And he pours in the fastball, and Tony Kemp, yet to take a swing, has a full count. Does take a swing at that pitch and misses it. LeBlanc picks up a strikeout of the first batter he faces. Defensively behind LeBlanc today, it's a center fielder who the Astros are very familiar with. Cameron Maybin played for the Astros last year into the postseason. He's checking his charts against his former teammate Alex Bregman. He is flanked by Mitch Haniger and Guillermo Heredia. Third baseman is just a late addition to the lineup here, as the Mariners made a change and Zach Vinci gets his first start at third base. Gene Segura, D. Gordon, and Ryan Healy was originally in the lineup at first base, but he has been replaced by Andrew Romine. If Cameron Maybin was checking the chart on Alex Bregman, he should know that Bregman will pretty much hit it all over the place, and especially deep lately. Alex with 22 home runs. Misses that pitch. It's 1-2.
It's a little bit of a gutsy take right there early on in this game. LeBlanc earlier got a pitch on the outside corner, or off the outside corner. That second pitch on our MD Anderson strike zone was called a strike.
Alex pops up the 2-2 pitch. Second baseman D. Gordon, shielding his eyes from the sun, puts it away for out number 2.
Yeah, some of these clouds up here in the sun create a ton of glare up there. That's what D. Gordon's fighting through. Did you finally take your jacket off?
Yeah, well, it's a little chilly before the game. 66 degrees, Blummer, game time.
Well, it's way below the TKMI.
Yeah, I'm normally 70s, 80s, 90s guy.
I guess I could take the M out of there. TKI.
Diving effort in center field and no catch. Cameron Maybin went down to the ground, and Evan Gattis has a double. Maybin tried to sell it as a catch, but it was ruled as a no catch by the second base umpire Lance Barrett. And Evan continues to hit well against the lefty Wade LeBlanc.
Yeah, that was a scalded dog off the bat of Evan Gattis to center field, testing Maybin early. 111.8 off the barrel and moving quick. Maybin losing his footing, tried to play it off, but was unable to. And our mattress from Supermo is going to confirm the fact that that ball hit the ground. You can see it underneath the chest of Cameron Maybin. Good call by the second base umpire Lance Barrett.
Evan now 6 for 9 with 3 home runs against LeBlanc.
Just walk him.
And just hit a seed to center field.
That ball was crushed.
Here's Yuli Gurriel. Yuli coming in batting .287 on the year. Astros winning last night 5-2 after losing the opening game in a 2-0 shutout. Both Charlie Morton last night and Garrett Cole the night before, giving the Astros an opportunity to win both of these games. Offense was shut down by James Paxton, Alex Colomé, and Edwin Diaz on Monday, but came alive last night, especially after the first 3 innings. Yuli reaches out and pops up a 2-0 pitch. Gordon puts it away for the final out. So the Astros with 1 hit and 1 man left on base. And Nelson Cruz a .333 career mark against Dallas Keuchel with 4 home runs. Mitch Haniger, Cameron Maybin, and Mike Zunino, followed by Guillermo Heredia, Andrew Romine, and Zach Vinci getting the start.
Dallas Keuchel going for your Houston Astros. Beautiful day here in Seattle. He's looking to continue what he did in July. Was 4-1 with a 1.65 in July. But this season against the Seattle Mariners hasn't gone as well as he had hoped. He has an 0-2 record and a 5.52 ERA. That is 9 earned runs in 2 starts.
Dallas facing the always aggressive D. Gordon, who fouls one off to lead things off. D coming in batting .290. It's better this year against left-hand pitching than he has against righties. A lot of those hits the other way. Out at the plate off his foot, it's 0-2. Gordon batting .325 against left-hand pitchers compared to .276 against righties. To the count. Dallas making start number 23 on the season. Glover mentioned the month of July going very well for him. Now makes the first start on the first day of August. Gordon flashed a bunt but pulled back. It's 2-2.
It's definitely an element of surprise when you score around with 2 strikes.
Right side on one hop. Marwin Gonzalez has it, and Gordon retired for the first out.
Our Best in Texas Power Pitcher is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Dallas Keuchel and some of that pitch usage this season. In the last 5 starts, he's really gotten away from the cutter. The number that jumps out at me a little bit is that changeup usage going up to 21%, the curveball 20%. But when that fastball is going good, That means he's throwing it more, and he's throwing it more on the edges too. We saw him busting in on the arm side to D. Gordon to get ahead in that count. So that's a good sign for Dallas Keuchel.
Here's Gene Segura. Segura coming in with a .318 batting average. You see that hit total up to 130 as he tries to track down Jose Altuve while Altuve's on the DL. Jose still leads baseball with 134 hits, but now Segura 4 back. Segura's a guy that doesn't walk a whole lot, doesn't strike out a whole lot, puts a lot of his swings in play. Fouled off. It's 2-1.
That's where you see the confidence of Dallas Keuchel in that fastball. A couple of fastballs dotted on the down and away corner, didn't get the calls, but in a 2-0 hitter's count, he comes right in on the hands of the right-handed hitter. Those first two pitches are pitcher's pitches. Good change up, even though it's up in the zone. The change in velocity is what created that foul ball.
Today will be a good study for young pitchers that really don't throw all that hard as to how to manipulate hitters by changing speeds and going in and out, because neither LeBlanc or Keuchel are going to overpower you.
Absolutely, yet they're still effective occasionally on the inside corner. And the initial thought, if you're a hitter, a right-handed hitter, not necessarily if you're left on left or right on right, but if you're that opposite matchup, so Keuchel being left-handed, the hitter being right-handed, and I'm facing a guy like Dallas Keuchel or Tom Glavine that I faced, and he throws soft, I would lean out over the plate because I would assume that without the velocity, he's not going to try and challenge me. But these guys go ahead and challenge you.
Again, Dallas working inside and Segura fighting it off.
Yeah, that's a good job getting in there. League leaders are presented by Houston Methodist. And this is an amazing number. Lowest opponent batting average versus inside fastballs in July are the two guys going today, and they don't throw that hard. Wade LeBlanc, we talked about the fastball, probably the lowest velocity in all of baseball, yet they continue to get in the kitchen like Dallas just did. This entire AB to Segura.
It really is phenomenal to see those stats and know that neither guy can throw a fastball 90 miles an hour on average.
And you can see pitch 3, 5, 6, and 7 all in on the hands of Segura. And it's tough too because you're letting the ball travel a little bit, and by the time you decide to swing, it's just all up on the knuckles. Because you know you still have to cover the changeup away too.
Here's a guy that's given Dallas problems through the years, Nelson Cruz. We showed you his 4 home run total when we gave you the Mariners lineup. Overall 12 for 36 against Dallas with 7 walks and those 4 home runs. Foul back to the screen. It's 0-2.
This guy right here does a good job of clearing the front side to be able to get to some of those inside pitches.
In the air to left field, Tony Kemp will drift back all the way to the warning track and put it away. Nelson Cruz flies out to left to end the inning.
SW. That's where you can follow and vote. As the Astros hit the dog days, which factor is the most important to their August success? Is it the return of Jose Altuve? How about the return of Carlos Correa? Health of that starting rotation, or the new bullpen gelling? See some changes there here pretty shortly, as we already have. And Carlos Correa, guys, was packed up, ready to go a couple of hours ago. He was getting on a flight. He is going to be joining the Corpus Christi Hooks in Frisco, Texas, to start a rehab assignment. So great news there, as everything has felt good. He got his work done early here. Said he was ready to get after it. He'll play 7 innings tomorrow. He'll play shortstop, and there is a program. It could be 5 games, could be 7 games, 10 games, all depending on how he feels once he gets in there. But that is a huge step in returning to this team, and he is really looking forward to getting out on the baseball field.
Yeah, it's been a while. We haven't seen Carlos since late June. It'll be good to see him playing at least in a professional game tomorrow, even though at the minor league level, and hopefully back with the Astros before long. There's a ball picked by Andrew Romine at first as Josh Reddick rolls over on a ground out for the first out of the inning. Certainly will be good to see Correa back. Julia will have an update for us later on Jose Altuve, George Springer. Obviously things not too serious. In case you missed the roster move today with Jake Marisnick in the lineup, Jake called up from AAA Fresno, and AJ Hinch telling Kyle Tucker that he is heading back to AAA. Here's Max Stassi. Stassi takes a called strike. Stassi coming in batting .245 on the year. And he grounds one towards short. Gene Segura, 2 away. And for Tucker Blummer, we saw him over 45 at bats, and good to see him get his first taste of the major leagues. Didn't hit his first home run, but had some good at bats here and there. And just a matter, he wasn't finding those starts that he would get regular playing time now at AAA.
Yeah, I think it's consistency, and there might have been a big enough sample size to realize that he may need a little bit more work here at the big league level. It's not a knock on him at all. Might just be a situation also where Jake had been swinging the bat well in AAA. Go ball.
Marwin Gonzalez deep to left field. How about it? Marwin puts the Astros on the board with a solo home run. And the Astros lead at 1-0 on Marwin's 7th of the year. That's his first as a right-hand hitter.
It was basically a BP fastball right down the middle for Marwin. Yep. It's a good pitch to hit. That ball was barreled up nicely on a line for Marwin Gonzalez. 106.6 off the bat. Line drive landed 376 feet away from home.
Some Astros fans up there by that scoreboard where it landed. JD takes a called strike. There they are. Even the guy in the Hawaiian shirt was an Astros fan, at least based on his reaction to the home run. There's a ball the other way. JD Davis, not a high exit velocity, but he'll take a 2-out base hit.
Hits are hits. Hard hit or soft hits still end up helping that batting average and that on base percentage.
And here is the aforementioned Jake Marisnick, who took the spot of Kyle Tucker on the roster today. Jake started to get it going last time. This is his 4th stint back and forth between the big leagues and AAA Fresno, and last time up, Jake hit it over 300 for his last 24 games. Most recently at AAA, he had been on a stretch of a dozen games hitting .341. Jake grounds one foul. It was a tough start to the season for Jake, and he's been working on finding that consistent at bat ever since. Ball ball hit into center field. Cameron Maben, long run. Maben looking up. This ball's gone! Welcome back, Jake Marisnick to straightaway center field. A 2-run home run. And the Astros lead 3-0.
Brought his khakis. Jake from Rake Farm, welcome back. You could read AJ's lips. Welcome back, Jake. It's always nice when you make a roster move in the first AB, the guy steps up and gives you some thunder.
That is a beautiful thing to see. You know everybody was amped up to see Jake back and for him to hit a home run to straightaway center field. Now Kemp, a little drag bunt. Forget it, D. Gordon. Kemp on the bag by the time he picked up the baseball. A beautiful drag bunt by Tony Kemp. And the Astros with some 2-out damage with Mel Stoudemire jogging out of the dugout after 4 straight hits.
Well, before we talk about that spectacular bunt, it was Jake Marisnick. 78-mile-an-hour changeup, staying over that outer third, but he, again, the patience of the hands and the trust in those hands to let that ball linger out there and then just get demolished. That ball was struck 104.5 miles an hour off the bat, estimated 413 feet.
You can't help but feel great for Jake Marisnick. It's been a trying year at times, back and forth to AAA Fresno. Just comes back today, and here he is hitting a 2-run home run.
We need to just be brutally honest. We all love Jake.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Jake. He brings a certain energy to this clubhouse that you really can't quantify. And he's appealing to everybody in that clubhouse. He's extremely nice to us, so we enjoy watching him play the game. But nice little infusing of good attitude, and then some long ball right there.
Yeah, there's not one guy in the clubhouse that doesn't cheer hard for Jake Marisnick every time he's up there, and they're disappointed when he has struggled at times. And hopefully this will be his time up, that he stays for good. Alex Bregman swings at the first pitch and pops it foul out of play. And AJ said when asked before the game about the return of Kyle Tucker, he said more than likely we'll see Tucker again in September.
Yep.
He goes, but there are no guarantees. There are no promises made when a guy's sent out. Just want Tucker to get his work in. And
there's no guarantees in baseball?
No guarantees.
Man, that's weird.
So Tucker get his work in, and more than likely we'll see the 21-year-old in September. Has Bregman with an 0-1 count. Takes one inside for a ball. It's 1-1. So 2 outs, nobody on. A couple of soft ground ball outs to start the inning. Then home run, single, home run, single. And the Astros have a 3-0 lead. Alex to left field and deep, and this ball is just foul. Alex didn't miss his 23rd home run by much. And what you talked about with LeBlanc, who throws under most pitchers' hitting speeds, you just have to have that little split-second extra beat before you make that pass.
And I like how you said below pitching speed. It's actually below hitting speed. The average Major League fastball is around 92 miles an hour, and these guys are good enough to hit 99 and 100.
Right.
So adjusting down to 86 is a little bit tougher, believe it or not.
There's a ball into left center field. On comes Heredia, and he'll make a sliding effort and a catch. Nice play to take a hit away from Alex Bregman.
But it was lightning here in the middle of the afternoon in Seattle. Marwin getting his first right-handed home run to get the Astros on the board. And then it's a welcome back party for Jake on that swing, going to that opposite field gap, making the score 3-0 Houston Astros early.
game back, and sticking with the theme of Jake Day, Altuve very excited to have Jake back, as they like to give each other pep talks. I think it's Altuve giving Jake the pep talk, but they do it before every game, so they did that for sure today. Also, guys, when Jake was talking to the media, the second bus rolled in and the word snake was screamed out, all of his nicknames, everyone very excited to have him back. But Jake obviously excited to be back. He said that the everyday at bats for him in Fresno were very good. He was starting to work on a few adjustments right before he was sent down, but wasn't able to stick with it or just get a good feel for it because he wasn't getting those consistent at-bats. So was able to work on those things down there, felt really good about his approach at the plate, was excited to get another opportunity to be here. He was looking forward to the energy and being around all of his friends again, guys.
No, it's great to, we talked about it before, how we're partial. I know all the team was happy to see him back. It's one guy on this roster that everybody is friendly with. There's a line drive. Haniger speared by J.D. Davis at third. Haniger with the hardest hit baseball of the day for the Mariners, but it was backhanded by J.D. Davis.
That ball was barreled up. Matches from Supermo shows that, but at the hot corner, J.D. Davis elevating and securing it. Give you an idea how quick he had to react in real time to that 108-mile-an-hour line drive.
Going with the shades, we saw D. Gordon catch a pop-up earlier without the shades. Sun is peeking through. Here's Cameron Maybin, just coming over from the Miami Marlins. Miami was playing in Atlanta for a series when Maybin learned of the trade. Jerry DiPoto, the GM for the Mariners, making the deal and talking to Maybin and saying, "We have a day game tomorrow. Just make sure you're here if you can by the following series. We'll be happy to see you." And Cameron's like, "Nope, I'll be on a flight tonight. You can put me in there tomorrow if you want, because I'm part of your team now." He's one of those guys that has been traded before, and he can quickly assimilate to a new group.
Yeah, back-to-back seasons being traded at the deadline to a contender, but you're kind of making it sound like he was anxious to get out of Miami.
No,
I'm messing too.
it could be construed that way, but no, he was on the road with his family in Atlanta. And DiPoto's like, "Hey, but you're with your family. It's no worries if you can't get out today." He's like, "I'm good. I'm going to take care of my family. They're going to be good, and I'm going to be heading to Seattle on that long flight from Atlanta." And here he is in the lineup. Good to see him.
It is. He's one of the good guys too. We enjoyed having Cameron Maybin around the team last year.
Maybin with a 3-2 count and takes ball 4 from Dallas Keuchel. That is not what Dallas wanted, especially for a guy who can steal a base like Cameron Maybin.
Well, Dallas was all around the zone, but Astros starters on the season here at Seattle. 6 games. The record is 4-2 for those starters, and the amazing thing about that is that they have 2 losses with a 1.51 ERA and a batting average of 170 against this Seattle Mariner team.
Maybin just joining the Mariners today. There's no BP usually day game after a night game, so nobody really had a chance to catch up with Cameron before the game. So Yuli, when he saw him come down to first base, kind of reacquainted himself with his former teammate. Here's Mike Zunino. Zunino 196 on the year with 13 home runs. Time was called before that pitch was delivered. Maybin stolen 8 bases with the Marlins in 13 attempts.
StatCast AI powered by AWS shows you that Mike Zunino is a pull monster. Really towards Alex and JD, and there you go.
In between Davis and Bregman, not much space there between the shortstop and third baseman. It was placed perfectly, and Zunino reaches on a base hit.
I'm not sure what that did. Did it prove our point that they should be playing him to pull, or did it prove our point that sometimes you got to shift more exaggerated than normal?
It proved our point that it's hard to get one through the left side of the infield. It has to be in an exact area, and that one was. So here's Guillermo Heredia. He was originally scheduled to bat 9th in the lineup today. Scott Service had to make some changes late because of Ryan Healy scratch from the lineup. So Heredia moved up from 9th to 7th. Dallas starts him off with a pitch that missed somewhere, maybe a little high. It's 1-0.
No, Dallas hasn't figured out what zone Gabe Morales is working with. Dallas pitches down in the zone, off the edges. We talk about that little bit of a triangle at the bottom third of the zone, but he's not getting any of those calls. Never mind.
All it took was one little Dallas extra stare in, and he gets the edge. It's 1-1. Walk to Maben, ground single by Zunino. Mariners have their first 2 runners on. There's a strike. It's 1-2.
Dallas is still staring in after getting the call. He felt that was in the same spot as the first pitch.
Dallas is consistent in that he will always, in a very polite way, have a conversation with an umpire at some point during the course of his start.
That's an excellent point.
A little flare into right field, long run Reddick, and that's going to drop for a fair ball. The bases will be loaded on a little parachute flare that landed either just on the line or just inside the line to load the bases.
The soft contact all season long has been an issue against Dallas Keuchel. Usually that can be a good thing. But for what it's done to Dallas Keuchel this season, has created some infield hits, some drop shots like you just saw in front of Josh Reddick. And among American League pitchers, he ranks 2nd in soft contact percentage at 24.6. Chris Sale is the only one ahead of him with more soft contact.
Dallas has definitely pitched with some tough luck this year. Today, another example as he faces Andrew Romine with the bases loaded.
But he's always a ground ball away from getting out of a jam. 3rd in the major leagues in that ground ball rate at 55.7%.
There's a base hit into right field. Romine with his first RBI of the season, and at bat number 86 has a single to right to make it a 3-1 game.
And that walk to Cameron Maben comes in to score after 3 straight base hits. First RBI for Romine on August 1st.
Yep.
Wow.
10 runs scored, but no runs batted in prior to that AB. Now Zach Vinci will get his first at bat as a Mariner. Last year with the Reds in limited at bats was 1 for 9. Makes his American League debut with the bases loaded and 1 out. Saw his numbers with AAA Tacoma this year, and he takes a called strike.
There's that soft contact number, even the median percentages. But that's good that he's not getting hit very hard. Does a good job with that sinker, change up, that slider that varies.
Into right center field, Marisnik on the move, diving attempt, he can't get there. Reddick to throw to second, not in time. Everybody's safe. It's 3-2. Zach Vinci an RBI single in his first at bat with the Mariners.
And again, not hit very hard, but resulting in a positive off the end of the bat. Reddick was just waiting to see what kind of play that Jake Marisnik was going to play, and it almost turned out to be a phenomenal one.
Ground ball single by Zunino. Flare hit by Heredia. Romine a single the other way. Vinci a single the other way.
We talk about hit probability a lot.
Yeah.
The last 4 hits, 20% probability, 35% probability, 53 and 16% as far as hit probability.
That's unbelievable. That is pitching in not just bad luck, but awful luck today. Gordon line drive, and there is some fortune for Dallas Keuchel. After some soft base hits, a line drive turns into a double play to end the inning. It's 3-2. Prepare for new ballparks, and Josh Reddick is back to his hometown. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded after the game, only on AT&T Sportsnet. Wednesday afternoon baseball from the Pacific Northwest, the Emerald City in Seattle, Washington. Todd Callis, Jeff Blum, Julie Morales, glad you could join us for Game 3 of this 8-game road trip. Astros will have a day off tomorrow in Southern California, getting ready for a rematch of the 2017 World Series. But first things first, he would like to take 2 out of 3 in this series against the Mariners. Evan Gattis leads off against the guy he's had a lot of success against, Wade LeBlanc, and takes a pitch for a ball. Gattis smoked a double to center field his first time up to put him at 6 for 9 against LeBlanc with 3 home runs. They would have called the arm for a swing. He would have been called for a strike. Instead, the bat stayed still, and it's 2-0.
Yeah, he definitely went around.
That's the guy who feels comfortable seeing this lefty. He does it again. It's 3-0.
I've never seen that.
He's done it on the 1-0 pitch and 2-0 pitch. He has swung with his left hand.
It's one way to check your swing, I guess.
Leave it to Evan to come up with a new way to check your swing. That time he didn't even flinch on the 3-0 pitch. It's 3-1. Evan wondering, well, maybe I should have swung at that 85-mile-an-hour fastball. See if he gets another one. LeBlanc probably knows the stats for Gattis against him in his career. Foul back the next one at 83. It's 3-2. He does throw a cutter that comes in a couple of miles an hour less than the fastball. Swing and a miss. Evan goes down on the changeup. And that is a strikeout for LeBlanc, his second of the game. Defensive rankings are driven by GMC. The Mariners acquiring Cameron Maben, who this year has 8 DRS, defensive runs saved for the Miami Marlins. We saw him go out and get it last year in the outfield for the Astros. The Mariners overall have needed an upgrade in their outfield defense numbers, and Maben will provide that. Corresponding move is Ben Gamel was sent to AAA. Here's Yuli Gurriel. Yuli takes a call and strike. It's 1-1. Yuli popped up to second his first time up on a 2-0 pitch. He pops this one into shallow center. Coming on Maven, going out Segura. It's Segura who puts it away for out number 2. Astros yesterday with 15 hits, 14 of them coming after the 3rd inning. And today starting out with 5 hits in the first 2. They had a span of 8 innings from last night till the first 2 innings today, where they combined for 20 hits in those 8 innings. Here's Josh Reddick. He grounded out his first time up. Reddick also with good numbers against LeBlanc. Had been 4 of his last 5 before that ground out. That did include a home run in that mix. 1-1 the count. So after all that soft contact in the 2-run inning for the Mariners in the second, D. Gordon hits a BB that is caught by Marwin Gonzalez and turned into a double play. Dallas was done in by the soft contact base hits last inning. Counts 2-2. Reddick had 3 of those hits last night, including a home run his last time up. In the dirt, 3-2.
Wade LeBlanc will test your patience. A lot of 3-2 counts.
Called 3rd strike. Josh Reddick does not agree with that call, but he is down looking for the final out of the inning. 1-2-3 inning for LeBlanc.
prophecies. Upper deck and the back nine. I think we're being tested today after a couple of easy ones. At least Todd's being tested.
I don't know.
Well, if you want to tweet your answers, you can tweet them at ATT Sportsnet SW and wait till later in this ball game when we reveal that everybody was wrong. I'm kidding. See if you got it right or not.
Here's Gene Segura leading off, taking a called strike. 2-3-4 in the Mariners lineup facing Dallas Keuchel second time around. Segura pops one in the air to left field. Tony Kemp shielding his eyes from the sun, and he makes the play just in case his buddy Jake was all the way over from center field to make sure he saw it.
Had the shades on too. Tough sky today.
Yeah, it turned out to be a cloudy day early, and slowly we have seen the clouds dissipate and the blue skies take over. All 3 days here have been pleasant in Seattle, although much warmer the first 2 days. 80 degrees at game time on Monday, 79 degrees last night, and today with a day game 66 degrees as Nelson Cruz takes a pitch for a ball. On the ground, a couple of hops cut off by J.D. Davis. His throw on the money for the second out. Third in Major League Baseball for Dallas Keuchel with the ground ball percentage. Lance McCullers Jr., his teammate, the only other one in the American League with a higher ground ball rate. In the National League, Clayton Richard of the Padres has the best ground ball rate in baseball. Called strike to Mitch Haniger. Dallas has had only 3 ground ball outs so far of his first 9 outs. Ground ball to short. He'll get 2 here in this inning if Bregman makes a strong throw, which he does. Haniger grounds out, and Dallas goes through 2, 3, and 4 in 1-2-3 fashion.
Fans who purchase season tickets now enjoy immediate benefits, including guaranteed 2018 postseason priority access. For more info, visit Astros.com/season tickets or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
We move to the fourth inning in a 3-2 Astros lead. Max Stassi swings at the first pitch and grounds one into the shift. D. Gordon, the second baseman on the shortstop side of the bag, makes the play for out number one. Wade LeBlanc, one pitch and one out in the fourth inning. He's now retired 5 in a row after the Astros strung 4 consecutive hits together, all starting with this guy, Marwin Gonzalez, who hit a home run. Marwin's solo home run got the Astros on the board. His first as a right-hand hitter, his 7th of the year. Takes a pitch outside for ball one. Marwin in last night's game snapped an 0 for 16 with a base hit in the 8th inning.
Marwin's home run, with a little help from the guys and gals at StatCast. Exit velocity almost 107 miles an hour. Line drive over that left field wall to get things going for the Houston Astros.
Kind of like an Astros fan corner over there.
It's because they serve tacos.
They're ready for another home run headed that way. It's 1-2. Guy in the Hawaiian shirt keeps pounding his glove as if Marwin's going to hit one right to him again. 1-2 the count. LeBlanc has done a good job in this AB of keeping the ball down and away to Marwin. Pitch number 2 was a called strike. Gabe Morales has given some edges to LeBlanc, including one on Josh Reddick to end the 3rd inning that may have been off the edge a bit. That edge inside is not given. It's 2-2. That's how LeBlanc is going to be all game long. He is going to test a home plate umpire. As Blummer said last inning, he's going to test a hitter's patience because he's not going to be on the middle of the plate. With his stuff, you have to work the edges and mix it up. 3-2. Because he's going to have a lot of deep counts, like you said last inning, and he's going to be just off or just on.
Tough to be patient when you're seeing pitches come in there at 86.
What is the key? Like,
you want to hammer those things. So for me, mentally, I told myself to sit changeup.
Okay.
Like a standard human's changeup is usually 83 to 86. So you just tell yourself to sit changeup, and you want to elevate a little bit, see it up in the zone, because usually at that velocity that he pitches at, low in the zone, usually falls out of the zone.
See how he's been able to work the inside fastball to his benefit last month. Marwin into left field again, deep to left field. Heredia back, looking up. Marwin has done it again. 2 home runs today as a right-hand hitter. His first 2 as a righty this year. And the Astros lead it 4-2.
Marwin. From the right side, feeling it.
3rd time in his career he's had a multi-home run game. It has been a battle for Marwin this year, but a couple of solo shots today, and he's given the Astros a 2-run lead. Here's J.D. Davis. J.D. takes a pitch off the plate for a ball. J.D. singled to right field his first time up. J.D. trying to move that batting average over 200. Into center field, Maben going back. He's at the track. He will back up right in front of the wall and make the play for out number 2.
Marwin staying off some pitches out of the zone. This one 86, and you can see the front side open up, and that barrel just lagged beautifully enough to get to contact, and then a beautiful launch angle, and he knew it off the bat too. There was no question in Marwin's mind that he got the second one of the day for himself.
Right into the Mariners bullpen.
A little bit further than his first one. That one 406 feet.
Oh, good to see Marwin with a couple of home runs today, especially up from the right-hand side. Jake has the other home run today, a 2-run shot his first time up. Jake's 8th of the season, just coming back from AAA Fresno. Marwin had 115 at-bats before today right-handed without a home run, and then 2 today and 2 ABs. LeBlanc misses to Marisnick. It's 3-0. LeBlanc not happy with the strike zone. Peers into Gabe Morales. Well, Jake should see something pretty tempting to hit here.
Pitcher's pitch, 3-0. That's okay if you're Jake. Just dare him to do it again. Maybe he makes a mistake like he did to Marwin.
On the ground, off the glove, and Jake Marisnick safe. Zach Vinci couldn't make the backhand play, and Jake lives with 2 outs. That'll be a base hit for Jake, so he's now 2 for 2.
Hustle can sometimes create the error. That's a tough play on the backhand side, but also knowing the speed of Jake Marisnick, you got to feel that thing perfectly. It's actually a benefit that Vinci was able to keep this ball in front of him. That in-between hop is not fun at all, but the fact that he actually knocked it down kept Jake from going extra bases.
Here's Tony Kemp taking a strike. See if Jake decides to try and take a base here with Kemp batting. Tony will give you an opportunity. Usually works counts. Jake a couple of steals this year and 3 attempts at the big league level. Tony rips one foul, and it's 0-2. Kemp a drag bunt base hit his last time up. He is also struck out. Astros with 7 more hits today on the heels of a 15-hit game last night. Showed you the standings in the AL West before the game started. The Astros leading the Mariners by 4 and the A's by 5. A's are playing today in Toronto, and Oakland leading 4-0. The A's trying to sweep the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays will be headed into town here for a 4-game series beginning tomorrow with the Mariners after their series with Oakland. 0-2 pitch, grounded, backhanded by Romine, who will step on the bag himself. The Astros add to their lead. It's 4-2.
Marwin Gonzalez, man with a bat in his hand, and he's on a mission today. 2 ABs, 2 bombs. Astros lead 4-2.
Here in the bottom of the fourth, Astros with a 4-2 lead. You heard Todd Callis talking earlier about how Cameron made sure to get here for today's game despite being allowed to wait a few days if he needed to meet the team on the next series. Also gets a chance to see his old friends as the Houston Astros, but he told reporters earlier today he thinks his role on the Mariners team is to be that energy provider, so he wants to get in there as soon as he can. And as for his time with the Astros, he had nothing but great things to say, talking about the high character of all the guys in his clubhouse. He said, that was the first time in my career that I was on a team where I really truly felt that teammates were pulling for one another. I couldn't have more great things to say about that group, and it was definitely a very special year, a special time, even though it wasn't a full year, something he will always remember as they led the Astros to their first World Series title. TK?
Yeah, good to see Cameron, after playing all those years, get to the postseason for the first time, and really was a contributor in the postseason last year for the Astros. Ended up in the World Series with a stolen base that made a lot of people happy around the country because they got some free tacos out of it.
That'll endear you to anybody.
And Cameron had played with the Tigers, the Marlins for 3 years, the Padres for 4 years. Line drive to Marwin Gonzalez off the bat of Cameron for the first out. And Marwin's able to make that play. He's hit a couple of home runs. He has 3 assists and a couple of putouts today. Dallas will work to Mike Zunino. Cameron went to Atlanta for a year, came back to Detroit and the Angels before joining the Astros for his first postseason run. I want to say his first game was here, because Justin Verlander was acquired the same day and JV's first game was here. And I think he homered that first game. I have to go back and do a little game log on Cameron Maybin. He joined the team early in the day when the Rays were still in Florida playing the Texas Rangers. Verlander was acquired at the very end of that deadline on the final day of August last year. And then Cam and Justin made an impact right away here in a series against the Mariners. But what a good guy Cameron Maybin is. He's been on a lot of different teams and he can fit into any clubhouse. It's 3-1 on Zunino.
Yeah, it was that relationship with A.J. Hinch back in San Diego that kind of brought him to Houston. So you got somebody inside your clubhouse and in the manager's spot that could actually vouch for a guy they were looking to trade for. And Cameron Maybin lived up to what A.J. Hinch thought he could bring to this ball club. But a great human.
Three and 2 the count on Zunino. Backing up on the 2-hopper is J.D. Davis. He makes the long throw to get the opposing catcher for out number 2. Maybin actually made his Astros debut against the Mets in that series at Minute Maid Park right after the Astros came back. Minute Maid Park offers a variety of premium seat opportunities at every Astros game. Host clients or celebrate a special occasion with club or suite level seats. For any group size, visit astros.com/suites or call 1-877-9-ASTROS to reserve your luxury suite today. Verlander threw that bullpen at Minute Maid Park during that Mets series and then made his first start here in Seattle. How about Dallas Keuchel? After allowing 5 consecutive batters to reach base at the second, he's now sent down the next 7.
Bregman. This is back in 2017. 345 batting average, 979 OPS, the 5 home runs and 20 RBIs. Another very good month for Alex. Taking some pretty good pitchers deep too. A couple of Oppo tacos mixed in there. That's really what got Alex going in August through September. Remember, August last year was not a good month overall for the team, but Alex doing his best to help out.
And that was a tough month, the worst month of the year by far for the Astros. They went 11-17 in August last year. And got a little jolt there at the end of the month with the acquisitions of Verlander and Maben. But at one point, beginning August 1 through August 12, they had lost 9 of 11 games last year, including 5 in a row. So it's good to see the Astros snap their losing streak yesterday after a 5-game streak that matched the longest losing streak of 17. The Astros have lost 6 of the last 8 games coming into today. But last year, in the midst of a 100-win season, they had a 9 out of 11 losing streak. But Alex was trying to carry the torch during that month. It's 2-1 to Bregman. This year, he's carried the torch a lot earlier.
Yeah, he has. June was amazing. There's that stretch that TK is talking about.
He poured it on, though, from the end of August to the finish line. There's a base hit down the left field line for Bregman. Bounces off the wall. That means Alex can cruise into second. Another double for Alex Bregman. And he's the leadoff base runner in the 5th. 35 doubles on the year.
Just racking up extra base hits. How about last season in 155 games? He had 19 home runs and 71 RBIs. This season, in 106 games, 22 home runs, 71 RBIs. Continued progression of Alex Bregman getting better in the big leagues.
The consistency has been amazing. He has now reached base safely in 62 of his last 64 games. Only Eduardo Escobar of the Twins has more doubles in the American League as Evan Gattis fouls one back. Gattis has doubled and struck out against Wade LeBlanc. Good series for Evan up here in the Pacific Northwest. That ball's hit hard to left field, but right at the left fielder Heredia. Guillermo makes the play for out number 1.
Does not look like Boston is playing today, but that is 58 extra base hits for Alex Bregman. What's interesting about that, at 58, he's tied with J.D. Martinez of the Boston Red Sox in extra base hits.
What?
Yeah.
Doubles machine to go along with those 22 home runs. Yuli takes a pitch outside for ball 1. Bullpen action going for the Mariners. Wade LeBlanc in his last start against the Astros at Minute Maid Park on June the 6th. Lasted 4 innings, allowed 7 hits and 3 runs. Today he is pitching into the 5th with 8 hits and 4 runs charged against him so far. It's 1-1 to Yuli. LeBlanc's had Yuli popping up a couple of times today, once to second base, once to shortstop. Could be the key to getting Yuli Gurriel out is pitch under hitting speed.
Might get him reaching a little bit.
He has faced LeBlanc 5 times in his career, and he's popped up 4 of those 5 times. This one he hooks foul. It's 2-2. Yuli for a while was vacillating above and below that 300 mark, but a recent struggle since the All-Star break has pushed him below 290. At some point you imagine he'll get back on a hot streak and approach 300 again in the not too distant future. Really sitting at 286 right now. There's a little ball into left field coming on Heredia. It'll bounce in front of him. It was a great jump by Bregman, but Gary Pettis holds him up. Bregman read that as soon as the ball was hit, and the Astros have runners on first and third.
Another hit with a runner in scoring position, but Heredia out there in left field charging quickly to catch that on one hop and put himself in a good position to throw, and Gary Pettis opts to stop Alex Bregman, because you're right, you saw in that replay, Alex got a great jump. And after he saw that that ball was going to be down, picked up Gary Pettis.
Gotta love the base runner that it will at least put the pressure on the third base coach and give him the opportunity to score him. And now here's Josh Reddick. Reddick did not like a call against him his last time up when he was called out on strikes. He also grounded out. Reddick takes a strike.
There's our sac fly line out there. A little bit more shallow in center field for Cameron Maybin. Heredia and Haniger a little bit deeper. Again, that judges Alex's speed against those arms.
Josh, a base hit past the diving Romine at first base. Bregman scores. Yuli to third. Astros lead 5-2. Josh Reddick had 3 RBIs last night. He tacks on another one today.
And doing it against left-handed pitching. Hit a home run last night against left-handed pitcher Zach Duke. Today a big base hit to drive in Alex. Again, against left-handed pitching, he does a very good job overall of keeping that front side closed. But it's a little bit tougher to do against a guy that's not throwing very hard in Wade LeBlanc, but he is patient. And again, another Astro hitter trusting the hands.
Wade LeBlanc's afternoon is over as the Astros have scored 5 against him and have 2 runners on base. Back with more after this.
Did you get it right? A couple of interesting clues. Some people actually got this right. Mike Sims had a live moth pulled out of his ear in a game. Sounds like fun. Hit an upper deck home run in the Astrodome. Played 9 seasons with the Astros and Rangers. With any luck, they could pull the video on that, of the moth coming out of the ear.
Really?
How do you get the attention of Mike Sims?
Hey,
That's luck.
watch. You don't look away.
I'm looking away.
Looks like fun. How is that? Oh my gosh.
Okay.
TK's had enough. Dave Labossiere, Art Howe in on the action. He wasn't afraid.
There's a pitch to Max Stassi.
You thought I was messing around.
Oh, I did. Thought this is Astros After Dark for a moment.
Yeah, things just got weird.
Here's Max Stassi batting with runners on the corners and one out with Nick Vincent, the new pitcher for the Mariners. Max fouls one away. It's 1-1. Max has grounded out a couple of times. He would like to elevate a pitch here against this right-hander.
Yeah, he would. Nick Vincent on in relief of Wade LeBlanc, who didn't bum fuzzle anybody. Gave up 10 hits. And in 36 games, the ERA for Nick Vincent, 4.65, trying to keep some more earned runs away from Wade LeBlanc.
2-1 the count. Stassi, 24 runs batted in on the season. Playing 2 of the 3 games in this series. Martin Maldonado caught last night. He pops one up. Catcher Mike Zunino near the screen, and Stassi gets another life as it bounces just a couple of rows behind the screen. Astros with 10 hits today against the starter Wade LeBlanc in 4 1/3 innings. That is the second most hits allowed by LeBlanc this year. The Red Sox got him for 11 hits at a game in Fenway on June 22nd. He did so in 4 2/3 innings. Today LeBlanc lasting 4 1/3. Hitting can be streaky and contagious. We saw this offense really struggle for the 5-game losing streak, and now 15 hits followed by 10 in the 5th.
I just feel that there's a certain vibe in this ballpark for the Houston Astros hitters that they do have a little bit of a funk sometimes that we've seen them come through Safeco Field. Then all of a sudden they just come charging on, put up some big hit numbers and big run numbers in this ballpark. And that's what gets them locked back in. You wouldn't assume that in a ballpark this size, but they don't mind hitting here.
Last night a lot of the damage came after the 3rd inning as they had 14 of their 15 hits in the final 6 innings. So you add that on to today, that's 11 innings worth of baseball and 24 hits.
Ouch. Wade LeBlanc signing that long-term deal to be with the Seattle Mariners in 4 games against Houston, an 8.92.
And you can add to that ERA as Max Stassi to center field. Maben back, leaps, gone! 3-run home run, Max Stassi. And the Astros lead this game 8-2.
Maximus. Thunderous drive to center field.
Eighth home run of the year for Stassi, a 3-run shot. And the Astros in front by 6.
Gonna have to adjust that graphic we just put up. Vincent not helping out Wade LeBlanc at all.
That ERA just may have jumped into the double digits. Here's Marwin Gonzalez. Marwin turning around and batting left-handed for the first time today. Astros with 4 home runs in this game. Marwin has 2. Jake Marisnick and Max Stassi the other 2. Marwin hitting 2 home runs right-handed, now turning around and batting left-handed for the first time. Oh, 0-2 as he missed the changeup. Vincent is a strike thrower, doesn't throw overly hard. Fastball tops out just under 90 miles an hour, but he usually does fill up the strike zone. Marwin fouls it back. So a total of 7 runs allowed today by Wade LeBlanc in 4 1/3 innings.
It's hefty. Didn't walk anybody either. That was just the Astros doing damage with hits.
Three-run second, a four-run fifth. They added a run in the fourth on the Marwin home run. Marwin batting for the third time here in the fifth inning as the number 7 hitter.
A lot of deep counts, but the Astros with 3 home runs off Wade LeBlanc and now 1 off Nick Vincent.
No, this is a fairly important part of the season, even though you still have a third of the season to go. The Mariners won the first game. The Astros were scuffling to score runs. They were shut out by Paxton and a couple of relievers. Scott Service saw his team creep to within 3 games in the AL West. And you're thinking either if you split the next 2 games, you leave with just a 3-game cushion, or if you lose both, now all of a sudden you're looking at a 1-game lead. And things could potentially get dicey, but the Astros have bounced back nicely the last couple of nights.
Yeah, they really have. And look back at that pitch. Max extending on 89, a little bit off the outside edge, but barrels it up and drives through it with that strong right arm extending, providing a lot of that power. And a beautiful day here in Seattle. The sun's out. Air gets just a little bit lighter, and that ball carried pretty good. It's an estimated 408 feet.
J.D. Davis into right field. Mitch Haniger has it lined up. He makes the play for the final out of the inning. The Astros add 4 with a 3-run home run by Stassi leading the way.
Astros home screen icons, the MLB.TV game of the day, pitch tracking, highlights, stats, and much more. Download MLB at Bat today.
Gamer hanging in there. Andrew Romine leads things off, takes a called strike. Dallas Keuchel now working with a lead of a half-dozen runs. It's 8-2 as we head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Dallas has retired 7 in a row. Kind of been a strange game for Dallas. He retired the first 4 batters, then the next 5 reached base, and since then he's retired the next 7. When those 5 all reached base, Plummer went through the hit probability of those 4 consecutive hits. None of them were hit very well, including Andrew Romine with an RBI base hit, but he goes down swinging here, and Keuchel picks up a strikeout. That is the first strikeout of the game for Dallas in the 5th.
It's an interesting number on the right. Previous 5 games, 23 hits, 10 runs. Last 2, 26 hits and 13 runs.
And we're halfway through this one.
And we still don't have Altuve or Correa announced in this lineup, right?
Or Springer.
Or Springer. Hey, we figured it out. We don't need them.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something about HEB.
Oh,
That's what all the fans are talking about.
you just went there, didn't you?
No, I'm just reflecting what's on Twitter. By the way, Springer's going to be fine.
Yeah. Apparently he was putting on an exhibition for AJ Hinch before the game.
So Springer, after the game, according to AJ, after he was done getting treatment and going through all the tests of the shoulder, had that stim pack on his shoulder. Here's a ball sent into shallow left, and Alex Bregman over the shoulder makes the play. That ball hung up off the bat of Zach Fincy, and Bregman makes the play. So George, with that little stim machine that you put on your shoulder, I guess it keeps pulsing. Have you ever had to?
Yeah, the electronic stem, it'll shoot electric pulses through there to loosen that thing up, helping encourage the healing process.
So he's wearing that in AJ's office after AJ addressed the media, and he comes in, and AJ and George is doing jumping jacks, saying, "Look, full range of motion." And AJ said, "Get out of my
beat it, kid.
Get out of my office, please. Let's talk tomorrow." And with the off day tomorrow, as much as George wanted to be in there today, makes full sense to give him the extra off day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let him come back to the place where he took home some hardware last year.
Yeah, he's got some good feelings. I think it's just great that the Astros the next year are able to kind of go back to the place where they probably ruined the carpet.
Hell, yeah, they did.
Champagne celebration.
Ruined more than that, ruined the dreams of Dodgers fans.
Yeah, broke some egos.
Dodgers winning Game 6 against Justin Verlander. Everybody in LA thought, here we go, the Dodgers heading towards the title, but that changed in Game 7 with Charlie Morton locking it down. George Springer doing his thing. Astros celebrating at Chavez Ravine, their first ever World Series championship, and they'll get to head back there for Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I think it's great for us. We get to go back in there and broadcast the Dodgers-Astros series.
That's right.
I'm severely disappointed we didn't get to have any part of that last year.
We were just kind of rogue fans there.
Oh, man. Except for Game 2. I enjoyed Game 2 where I was sitting.
You had a great shot and a great reaction.
Oh, and it was pure, too, because, you know, that game was kind of teetering. And all of a sudden, Alex with that big hit and that, you know, little bit of a fit that Puig threw down the right field line just happened to be right behind it. It was a good time.
Ground ball towards short. Bregman has to hurry with Gordon flying down the line, and Dallas is rolling along. That's now 10 in a row sent down by Dallas Keuchel, including that play by Alex.
Launching baseballs all over the place. Marwin started things off going into the left field bleachers, and then Jake with a welcome back party with the first AB going to that right center field gap. And then the second time for Marwin, even better launch angle, 406 feet. And this is the big one right here. To dead center field over the outstretched arm of Cameron Maben. Max Stassi with a 3-run home run. The Astros have liftoff this afternoon.
Marwin's first 2 as a right-hand hitter. Jake just back from Fresno hitting a home run. Max Stassi with that 3-run shot. Jake 2 for 2 today against Wade LeBlanc, facing Nick Vincent for the first time. Vincent came on with 1 out, allowed the home run to Stassi, and then got the last 2 batters of the inning. Jake with those 2 hits today, pushing that average back up above 200 at 203. His 8th home run of the season, a 2-run shot. Did the math on Wade LeBlanc. That season ERA is now above 10 for the year against the Astros. LeBlanc is now at 10.22. 14 runs allowed in 12 and a third innings. They have not had deep starts out of either Wade LeBlanc or Felix Hernandez this year on a consistent basis.
And they went out and got a ton of bullpen help. But apparently there were some starting pitchers out there available. Not sure if they had an opportunity to go get any of those guys, but they did a decent job in the bullpen.
Julia, what do you have for us?
I have the Shiner Light Blonde Spotlight, and it's falling on Tony Kemp, who's in the leadoff spot today. Spent a lot of time there over his career, but up here in the big leagues, AJ using him as that second leadoff guy in the 9-hole. And look at the production there, the 330 average, 417 OBP, has scored 17 runs, really kind of having a breakout season, and it seems like he's always in the middle of something positive that's happened. He's just having really good professional at-bats here for the Astros, guys.
Julia, I have to ask you something. Do you feel a lot of pressure when the Gaddis home runs happen and you have to get a quality picture or video? Because Hugs for Homers, you are all over usually.
Well, now I'm, sometimes I'm requested to do a boomerang. Sometimes they need a picture. Just depends on the day.
Play by Heredia in left field. Tony Kemp is retired.
So yes, there is pressure.
These are fan requests.
No, these are player requests. and the boomerangs, you only get 1 shot at it. I don't know how familiar you are with the boomerang, but only 1 shot. And yesterday, Josh Reddick tried to ruin it by getting in it. So we survived, though. We got something. I was told it was a good boomerang. But yes, pressure. Oh, this is from today.
Jake Day.
I took a lot of pictures of Jake Day.
Some autographs.
The fans love Jake Day.
Yes, they do.
Those pictures get a lot of likes.
Here's Alex Bregman taking a strike. It's 0-1. I love that. So players now requesting what platform Julia posts her stuff on a daily basis.
I'm in panic mode when she breaks out the camera and we're in the vicinity. It's the exact opposite for me, at least. She doesn't pick on you as much, but I eventually find my way into her stories, and it's usually a pretty good ambush with a filter. But
the picture yesterday was a good one.
Stop, see? You don't encourage it, man.
All right, sorry.
But yeah, she is very good as far as the Instagram stories, and I have yet to catch up and learn how to do that.
2-1 the count to Alex. And now the count's even at 2 apiece. Alex, a double in 3 at bats, was retired on a nice play in left field his second time up on a line drive, and then doubled off the wall and left. Bregman now with 35 doubles on the season. Swings through that pitch. Nick Vincent has a strong 1, 2, 3, 6. He's retired the last 5 as we head to the bottom half of the 6th. Presented by Rooms to Go. When it's time to decorate, Rooms to Go makes it easy and fast, all at great low prices. And by Nissan, innovation that excites. Marwin Gonzalez excited last year against the Dodgers in the World Series. Astros will be playing their next game in LA. Here in the bottom half of the 6th inning, leading 8-2 to try and wrap up this series with a win as Dallas Keuchel faces Gene Segura. Segura has grounded out and flied out to left. Astros scored 3 in the second. The Mariners came back to score 2 in the bottom half of that inning and had the bases loaded with 1 out. Maybe one of the key points of the game. Dallas got D. Gordon to hit into a line drive double play to end that rally with the bases loaded. And after that, that started off a stretch where he has retired 10 in a row. Thatch out at the plate. It's 1-2.
Yeah, that was a bizarre inning with all the soft contact that he created, and then he eventually gets out of it with a line drive double play. That's the nature of the beast when you're playing this game. But it's amazing how he has the ability to maintain his poise and kind of shrug off some of those interesting innings and just keep moving on, getting outs.
Through it, stays 1-2. And Dallas gives up as many cheap hits, if you will, or soft contact hits as anybody on this staff, and he occasionally will show his frustration, but for the most part he keeps that poise on the mound, and he knows it's kind of the way things have gone against him at times this year. Segura fouls one towards the first base coach. Dallas at 72 pitches. He's been very efficient as we play here in the 6th inning. Segura is a tough guy to strike out. Staying alive on these 1-2 pitches by Keuchel. Dallas has the 1 strikeout today. It came last inning against Andrew Romine. On the ground, J.D. Davis to his left. There's that strong arm, and he needed it, getting Segura by a half step for out number 1. The Astros Foundation invites you to join the Volunteer Corps. Give back to Houston by taking part in game day activities at the ballpark, craft parties at local hospitals, and more. For more info and to sign up, visit astros.com/volunteer. A lot of Astros fans here at Safeco Field. Curious to see how much we see Astros fans show up at Dodger Stadium. Getting a chance every 3 years or 6 years to check out the Astros and the Dodgers, formerly a big rivalry in the National League West, and now don't get to see each other that often, but obviously forever linked because of the 2017 World Series. Here's Nelson Cruz. Cruz drills one to left field, and this ball is a rocket and gone. We mentioned Cruz had good numbers against Dallas Keuchel in his career, and Nelson just hit his 5th home run against Dallas to give the Mariners their 3rd run of the game. It's now 8-3.
Not that you enjoy giving up home runs, but you are a little grateful that there is nobody on base. Just a solo shot for Nelson Cruz. But he got to that pitch. Really, the only legitimate mistake we've seen from Dallas Keuchel, and you'd think he knew it out of the hand. Up in the zone.
Here's Mitch Haniger. Haniger has lined out and grounded out. Nelson Cruz with that 5th home run against Dallas. Nobody else in Keuchel's career has hit more than 3 home runs against Dallas. Cruz has a 2 home run lead over Kyle Seager, Albert Pujols, and Mark Trumbo, who have 3 against the Astros lefty. the middle for a base hit. So after the solo home run by Cruz, Haniger with his first hit. He's a 1-out base runner in the 6th. I'll bring up Cameron Maben. Maben walked and scored a run his first time up, lined out to the second baseman Marwin Gonzalez his last time up. Around the bunt, takes a strike. Cameron did hit a home run in that first series as an Astro last year against the New York Mets at Minute Maid Park, the final game of that series, and then hit 2 here in Seattle. He had 3 home runs his first 5 games as an Astro. Ended up with 4 for the season with Houston. And got 1 at bat in the ALDS against Boston, scored a run, came on as a pinch runner, got 3 at bats in the LCS, had a base hit, and then 3 at bats in the World Series with a hit and a stolen base. Dallas misses inside. It's 1-2. After getting ahead 0-2, Dallas now with a full count. When Dallas walked Maben in the second inning, and is his only walk allowed. Also 6 hits. There's a ball flared down the right field side. That's a base hit. First to third goes Haniger. Josh Reddick's throw back into second. Cameron Maben on for the second time today. And the Mariners trying to put a rally together down 8-3.
Not hit very hard, just perfectly placed. Really bringing that knob of the barrel towards Dallas quickly and then just dragging the barrel through to create that opposite field hit.
Here's Mike Zunino. He is grounded to third his last time up, also singled between third and short his first time. Dallas wouldn't mind a ground ball here with runners on the corners and 1 out. Foul ball. Just to our right. Almost took out our Snoop cam.
I was say I've got it, and I thought about reaching down and put my hand in front of the monitor, but I did not want to do that.
Nope.
So the monitor caught it for me, and we're still functioning, which is good news.
All monitors are working. Strike called. It's 1-2.
Got me a souvenir. Thank you very much. Rob Manfred's signature on there. It smells good.
And on the hands of Zunino, stays 1-2.
That's the first one I've gotten up here in 6 years. Coming through here, Seattle.
Andy Booth. Oh, just here.
Just here, Seattle. Anaheim, you get peppered.
This one's a little higher than most.
Yeah, it takes a pretty good poke to get it up here.
In the dirt, runner trying to advance. The throw is out at second base. Max Stassi cuts down Cameron Maven trying to advance on a pitch in the dirt, and that's a big out for Keuchel and the Astros.
I'm with you. That was a great play by Max. Keep the ball in the vicinity and still have the awareness to pop up, grab it, and make a strong throw to second. Ball in the dirt. Cameron hesitated. He was probably hoping that baseball would bounce a little bit further away, but a great throw. And again, good job by Marwin to hold his ground at second base, let that ball travel, catch it, drop the tag.
Now Dallas gets the strikeout. Stassi covers up the baseball, and that'll do it for the Mariners. So a big throw out by Stassi and then a strikeout by Dallas.
A flashback to 2015 on August 1st. A first for Carlos Correa. His first career 2-home run game. To the pull side and then going to the opposite field. Bright future for that young man. We saw it early and often. But his first multi-home run game. He is on the shelf right now, but we've got some more information on that. Brought to you by Julia Morales.
Thanks so much, Palmer. Yeah, good to see Carlos Correa this morning with his bags packed. He was in his street clothes. He was headed to the airport because he is going on a rehab assignment. He is that close to returning to the Houston Astros. He's been on the DL for more than a month with that lower back soreness. But as he starts this rehab assignment with the Corpus Christi Hooks, he'll ease his way in, playing 7 innings tomorrow, playing shortstop. He'll play a couple, have a day off, play a couple, and then they'll just decide how many days it does take before he can play a full 9 innings here in the big leagues. Also, Jose Altuve has been on the DL, but with the team, he's dealing with a right knee soreness. He's feeling much better. He's just getting treatment right now. On Friday, they will start to do some more tests as the team will meet up with him in LA. But a quick note on that, guys. He wasn't supposed to meet the team until we were in LA. He was going to spend some time at home, take care of some things, but he's spent one day at home, decided I didn't like being away from my team. There was some news surrounding my team. I felt like I needed to be there. So I hopped on a plane and met them in Seattle, and he says, whether I can play or not, I want to be with these guys. And AJ Hinch had comments on that, saying that's just who Altuve is. He is an elite leader. That's really changed over the last couple of years. He's always been a great player, but his leadership qualities is what makes him elite at this level, guys.
Yeah, great to see Altuve here with the team, and he and Correa, we showed you last night, watched most of the game together. Carlos heading for his rehab assignment, and hopefully we'll get some good news on Altuve with a timeline coming up shortly. As Evan Gattis goes the other way down the line, that's a fair ball against Adam Warren, the new pitcher. Gattis into second base with a double. Evan 2 for 4 with a couple of doubles today.
Newest Mariner, Adam Warren, coming over from the Yankees. First AB he has is a double going the other way. Up off the plate. by quite a bit. But we know that sometimes if you get around that beard level, Evan Gattis is going to go out there and attack it. He's very protective of it.
Rightfully so. Here's Yuli. He was part of that 4-run inning in the 5th with a single. 1 for 3 today. A couple of pop-ups against Wade LeBlanc. Yuli's single did not score a run, but it was with a runner in scoring position. He is 1 for 2 today with runners in scoring position as he continues to pace Major League Baseball in that category. Up and in. 2-0 the count. Chance to show off Lapina.
Yeah. Lapina panicked. Watch out.
Yuli goes the other way. Foul. It's 2-1. Warren was acquired from the New York Yankees in a trade on Monday. The Yankees in return receiving international slot money from the Seattle Mariners. Warren 30 years old. Pitched with the Yankees at the beginning of his career and then in 2016 with the Cubs before returning right back to the New York Yankees where he's been most comfortable in his career. 7 years with the Yankees, that 1 season or partial season with the Cubs. That hit by Gattis is now 12 for the Astros today. 27 hits combined since the second game of this series. Josh Reddick has 4 of those 27. Really pops one up on the infield. Segura puts it away for out number 1. Here's Josh Reddick. Josh, an RBI single his last time up. 1 for 3 today. 4 for his last 6 during this series. Reddick takes a called strike.
It's been a pretty thorough attack again today from the Astros. Those 12 hits scattered 1 through 9. It's also good to see some of these guys taking advantage of opportunities without some of those horses in there, make a name for themselves, get noticed a little bit by putting together some good ABs. And I think that's promising for AJ Hinch and this organization, just in the sense that you can't expect them to go through a 162 game schedule without an Altuve and Correa in the lineup. But if you can get through 10, 15 games using some of these guys that are role players and can step up, you know, here and there to put up some big runs and help you get through the loss of having a couple guys on the DL until they're healthy, I think that really bodes well for the Astros organization. But on the other hand, the Seattle Mariners have to kind of look at the situation and realize that we are not playing the best Astro team, yet we are losing to them. Could be a little bit concerning on the Seattle side.
The other thing that's concerning is Oakland's leading their game today 7-1. And if the A's win today and the Mariners lose, they will be tied just percentage points apart for that second wild card spot. It's pretty much determined right now as we sit here on August 1st that we know who five teams will come out of a group of 6 American League franchises, with 3 of them being in the AL West.
Yep.
The other 3 being Cleveland, New York, and Boston.
Yep.
more than likely it'll come down to Seattle and Oakland.
Absolutely. I can't agree more. Because with that win, you know, Seattle and Oakland are going to tie for that second wild card spot.
The Astros will see a lot of the Mariners here over a stretch of games. After this road trip, the Astros will kick off a homestand with Seattle, and that'll be the beginning of a stretch where they play the Mariners 7 times in a 12-game span. Astros remaining games versus the AL West on your screen. The Astros don't play a lot of games within the division once we get to September.
Usually doesn't happen that way. Usually these divisions, they finish playing each other throughout the course of the season, which makes it that much more interesting. But it's also interesting the way the schedule is lined up, having games against the Angels, who are anticipated to be that second-tier team in the American League West, but it's turned out to be the Seattle Mariners, and still plenty of games left against the Seattle Mariners.
3-2 pitches ripped and caught by Romine. Josh Reddick hit it hard, but gloved at first base for the second out. Well, usually you have a lot of games within your division the final month. That's how baseball like to finish it. But when you have a 5-team division, there's usually one team that's a swing team. And this year, the Astros don't play a lot of games within the division that last month, so they have a bunch coming up here in this month of August.
That almost puts a little more pressure on them to win these games, because in order to win your division, you have to play well within your division. They do that. But it's crazy to think that we get back from this road trip, have a week homestand, and then go right back to the same cities that we're going on this road trip, just a different team in the Angels and the A's. So they'll be right back here in Seattle here real quick.
It's almost deja vu, because 2 weeks from this week, the Astros will be here for night game, day game, just like this series, and then they'll go to Southern California for a day off.
Yep, and a lot might be determined in the next 2 weeks in the AL West.
Instead of playing the Dodgers over the weekend, as Blummer said, it will be the Angels next time. And instead of playing the Giants next time, it'll be the other team in the Bay Area, the Giants. But that's as close as you could replicate 2 exact trips back to back.
There's a look at your division right here at Safeco Field.
Mariners and A's have played a different number of games, so they won't be exactly tied if the results stay the same today between the Mariners and the Athletics. There you see the difference in the games played. Mariners with 2 fewer losses than the A's. But the Mariners are about to be in a stretch of 20 straight games without an off day, while the Astros will enjoy a bunch of off days in August. 2-1 the count to Max Stassi. 5 scheduled off days in the month of August for Houston. That is a rarity, and that's part of the new schedule in Major League Baseball.
It's great for the rotation. It's great for some of these guys that are ailing a little bit, because August is always that dog days that everybody talks about. But a real opportunity for A.J. Hinch to kind of manipulate that rotation, give guys extra days if they need it, or manipulate that lineup and give back-to-back days off to guys.
Yeah, of that rotation that you were speaking of, Dallas goes today on normal rest. He's the only starter that will go on normal rest until August 22nd, coming out of the All-Star break. Every other start by every other pitcher will have at least an extra day built in. Swing and a miss. Stassi with a full count. Because there's only 2 stretches between the All-Star break and August 22nd where the Astros play as many as 6 games in a row. This wraps up a stretch of 6 in a row. But the dog days are a good time to build your off days. It's part of our Stroll poll today. 3-2 pitch misses outside for ball 4. So the Astros with 2 runners on and 2 outs.
Go behind the scenes at Minute Maid Park with a tour that includes a trip to the press box. You can sit in Todd's seat in the broadcast booth, dugout, scoreboard, and more. Visit astros.com/tours to book your tour today. Just behind that curtain right there to the right is where Todd calls those games at Minute Maid Park.
You're there.
Occasionally.
Here's Marwin Gonzalez. 2-home run game today for Marwin. Hitting as a right-hand batter in the 2nd and the 4th inning. His first 2 home runs right-handed this season. And he takes a breaking ball for a strike. Big crowd on this Wednesday afternoon in Seattle, 34,575. Watching the Astros lead their Mariners 8-3 in the 7th inning. There's a called strike. Marwin has 2 runs batted in. Jake Marisnick with a 2-run home run. Max Stassi with a 3-run home run. The other run accounted for with Josh Reddick with an RBI base hit. 8 runs on a dozen hits for the Astros. Trying to add to that total with Gaddis on second and Stassi on first. One and 2 the count.
It's been some pretty good breaks in between innings for Dallas Keuchel. Able to go down there and get some rest.
Plus, it's been about as nice a day as possible to be out there on the mound. Astros haven't had any bullpen action all day. Marwin stays alive.
Well, the Astros starters have been very good this year. I believe they're leading baseball in innings per outing, just over 6. I'll double check. But that's a beautiful thing for A.J. Hinch and his bullpen, not having to wear those guys out. They're second behind Cleveland. Cleveland's just ahead of them. When you know that your rotation is as healthy as it is, you've got these off days coming up in the month of August, kind of increases those chances to be able to give everybody a little bit of rest. But that starting rotation really has taken a lot of strain off that bullpen by pitching deep into ball games.
Call third strike. Marwin goes down looking. And the Astros strand 2 in the 7th inning, but they still lead 8-3 as we head to the 7th inning stretch here at Safeco Field, and we'll send it to Kevin Eschenfelder and Mike Stanton in our rooms to go lounge. Up this weekend from Chavez Ravine, where the Astros wrapped up Game 7 on November 1st of 2017. 9 months ago today, the Astros were crowned world champions, and now we'll do it all again in the regular season of 2018.
You'll have to excuse me while I enjoy the video.
Yeah.
That was the final out of Game 7. That's where Charlie got his nickname, CFM, raised the trophy.
Charlie Morton becoming the first pitcher ever to win 2 Game 7s in the same postseason. There will be a lot of good vibes felt by the Astros as they roll in to take on the Dodgers for that series. Here's Guillermo Heredia leading off against Dallas Keuchel. Astros with their first bullpen action of the day as the inning starts. Brad Peacock beginning to loosen up. Dallas sitting at 90 pitches as the 7th began. He's 0-2 on Heredia. Heredia, Andrew Romine, Zach Vinci, the bottom 3 in the Seattle lineup. Solely hit towards third. J.D. Davis makes the play for out number 1. A look ahead is brought to you by Wells Fargo. Here is the pitching matchup for the rematch of the World Series, and why not have Justin Verlander lead off the series?
Lance McCullers started that game 7 in LA. Kenta Maeda and rookie Walker Buehler.
Dodgers didn't have to deal with that third guy last year. It's not a bad addition to the rotation.
They've got a couple of new additions. Brian Dozier will be playing second base for him.
Backhanded by JD, off balance throw, and he makes the play. That was Alex Bregman-like, and Bregman from shortstop claps into his glove in appreciation of that play by JD.
JD moving around down there at third base. That is nice to see. And again, when you're playing behind a guy like Dallas Keuchel, you almost anticipate contact and you anticipate ground ball. Made a great move to get to that hop. And Romine, who doesn't play all that often, is getting robbed of a possible base hit by a great play by J.D. Davis. Going back across the body. Good stretch by Yuli, too.
Here's Zach Vinci taking a called strike. Couple of groundouts this inning for Dallas. Vinci with a base hit in his first at bat as a Mariner, drove in a run to make it a 3-2 game, and he sends one into left field. He's now 2 for 3. Zach Vinci just called up from AAA Tacoma last year, 9 at bats for the Reds, his first major league action. He's 2 for 3 today.
2 of his 3 big league hits coming today. Also got his first big league RBI in that first AB.
He wasn't even supposed to play today. He was a late addition to the lineup. Saw that work against the Astros most recently in that Texas Rangers series, where Isaiah Kiner-Falefa was a late addition to the lineup and ended up with 4 hits. Here's D. Gordon. Gordon has grounded out twice, hit the ball hard with the bases loaded in the second, but lined into a double play. Takes a called strike. Eight hits now for the Mariners. They bunched up 4 of those hits together in the second, then 3 more together in the 6th. Gordon grounds one to second. Marwin with a quick flip, and that'll do it for the Mariners in the 7th. Dallas through 7, leading 8-3.
for voting at ATT Sportsnet SW. As the Astros hit the dog days, it's the most important factor to their success in August, and it's going to be the health of starters, winning today's poll with 45%. The starting rotation has been extremely healthy this year. Have to continue that. How's Keuchel, one of the guys, talking about how health was something he was really putting a lot of focus into heading into the season, wanted to kind of hit his stride at this point of the year. He's done exactly that, feels really strong, and another strong performance today, guys.
It was, Julia. It's fun to watch. Dallas had that lead to work with, especially after the Astros put up 4 in the 5th, and he cruised along, had that little speed bump there with some soft contact hits in the 2nd, but overall really good outing as James Pazos takes over in the 8th for Seattle.
Second appearance in this series for Pazos. Went a 1/3 of an inning. Gave up 1 hit, walked 1.
He'll face J.D. Davis, who made a fine defensive play in that last inning. J.D. 1 for 3, single, a run scored, flied out deep to center and flied out to right. Astros facing their 4th pitcher of the day. Wade LeBlanc gave up 7 and 4 in the 3rd innings. Nick Vincent allowed a home run, but then retired 5 in a row as J.D. hooks one foul. J.D. home run distance, looking for his 2nd home run of the season, but out in front of it a little bit. Adam Warren in his 1st inning of work with Seattle ends up getting a shutout inning and had to throw a lot of pitches after a double and a walk in that inning. And now we're on to James Pazos. 1-2 the count. Sinker slider guy. Righties will pretty much face all sinkers. You can almost eliminate the slider. He throws 95% sinkers to right-hand hitters. Coming in around 94 miles an hour. Of course, he throws the slider there. 2-2. Jake Marisnick in his return to the Astros, 2-run home run, a single. Jake back on the roster. Kyle Tucker sent back to AAA Fresno before the game. Towards the middle, and JD has himself 2 hits today. Leadoff base runner in the 8th.
Good AB for JD. Took some good big swings, tried to knock one out of the park with that firm line drive down the left field line. Eventually just gets himself a solid base hit up the middle.
Now Pazos will face Jake Marisnick. Astros have played well here at Safeco Field, not only this season where they have a 4-2 record coming into today. If you take it back to last year as well, the Astros have won 14 of their last 19 games here at Safeco. 35-20 all time. All the teams that come through this place, only the New York Yankees have a better record in the American League than the Astros here at Safeco Field. Jake goes down swinging for the 2nd time today. Pazos gets him on strikes for the 1st out of the 8th. Pazos faced Tony Kemp, one of the batters last night. Got Kemp to ground out to first base. Tony 1 for 4 today. His one hit was a drag bunt hit back in the second. Second game Tony has led off this season. Kemp down in the count 0-2. Dallas Keuchel's day apparently is over. A.J. Hinch met Dallas at the top step of the dugout when he came off the field after 7. It was a day where the Mariners bunched some hits against Dallas, but for the most part he was in control.
Yeah, that's one thing about this season for Dallas. It has a high hit count against, even though today giving up 8, give him 142 on the season that he's given up, but he's been able to keep him off, or keep him from scoring, and he continues to show good poise. Looks like Brad Peacock is going to be next up.
For the Astros able to maintain this lead and give Dallas a W. He's trying to come back to that 500 plateau again. He finally reached it at 8-8 with a 5-game winning streak, then dropped below it in his last start. And now trying to get back to 509-9. Kemp goes down swinging. Pazos with back-to-back strikeouts, and there's 2 away in the 8th. I'll bring up Alex Bregman. Alex 1 for 4 today with a double and a run scored. Drills a foul to the crowd in left field. Mentioned that Dodgers series coming up. The Dodgers are in the midst of a 3-team race in the NL West. All 3 teams, Arizona, Colorado, and the Dodgers, within a half game of each other. LA has lost 3 in a row. Dodgers play tonight against Milwaukee, and they also play tomorrow against the Brewers. So the Astros will get to enjoy a little downtime in Southern California while the Dodgers play a game tonight and tomorrow.
You want to go to the game tomorrow?
We could.
Nah. Off day is spelled a little bit differently for us. It's spelled G-O-L-F.
I like it. 0-2 pitch misses. It's 1-2. There's the NL West, and it's bunched up. Even San Fran, a game over 500, they're not completely out of it yet. Kind of lingering around there. San Diego, obviously not in contention. Those 3 teams, the Dodgers making some major moves with Manny Machado and Brian Dozier coming over, amongst others.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting race to watch down the stretch.
As opposed to the American League, where, as we mentioned earlier, it's basically 6 teams for 5 slots. The National League is completely wide open. There are all kinds of combinations right now within each division, and also for the wild card picture.
Chicago and Milwaukee have the wild card, and then it's Colorado and LA and Atlanta 3 games behind in that wild card race.
Shallow left field. In fact, so shallow Gene Segura, the shortstop, is there and puts it away. Bregman retired on the pop-up. Leadoff hit by J.D. Davis, and we head to the bottom of the 8th.
good all season, and we've got proof. The ERA has been very nice, but month to month, early on, embracing that roll out of the bullpen with a .84 ERA. May exploded to a 1.2, but he corrected it in June, getting back down with a .79. But a .15 ERA, I mean a 1.15 ERA for Colin in that month of July has been beautiful. He has really become an asset out of that bullpen for A.J. Hinch.
That's as consistent as it gets for a guy learning a new role. Colin McHugh now in the bullpen for the Astros. Getting the job done earlier in this series, but in this game, Brad Peacock takes over in the 8th.
43 games, 45 2/3 innings pitched for Brad Peacock, and he has 64 strikeouts. Has given up the long ball, 9 this season.
And the first batter, Gene Segura, laces a foul. It's 0-1. Dallas Keuchel, 7 innings of 8-hit baseball today, allowed 3 runs, did not walk a batter, only a couple of strikeouts on the line. A couple of important plays in this game. D. Gordon lining into a double play, and Max Stassi erasing Cameron Maben, trying to advance on a pitch in the dirt with 1st and 3rd and 1 out. Peacock with a swing and a miss on a slider. It's 0-2. Dallas ended the day with 99 pitches, and 72 of them were strikes. That's a good percentage for Dallas today.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Getting into that 7th inning. It was a great afternoon for Dallas.
Keuchel's longest outing of the season. A couple of 8-inning starts, one of them in Oakland and one of them here in Seattle prior to today. So good to see Dallas go 7. He's now gone 7 or more in 4 of his last 6 starts. Swing and a miss. Gene Segura, not an easy guy to strike out, goes down swinging on the Peacock slider, 1 away in the 8th. Here's Nelson Cruz, takes a pitch inside for a ball. Cruz 1 for 3 with a home run. Solo shot against Keuchel, 5th home run he's hit in his career against Dallas. Called strike, it's 1-1. Mentioned Colin McHugh a moment ago. Yesterday he was called on to face Segura, Span, and Cruz, the 2-3-4 hitters in last night's game in the 8th inning. Today Brad Peacock called on to face the 2-3-4 hitters. Slightly different scenario. Yesterday Colin McHugh was trying to protect a lead of 3-2. Today Peacock working with a 5-run cushion. Last night the Astros would add 2 insurance runs in the 9th inning, and then Hector Rondon closed out the bottom half of the 9th in a 5-2 victory. In the air, center field, Jake Marisnick, 2 away. Check out the exciting events happening at Minute Maid Park this month. The August calendar includes Legends Weekend, a Springer Throwback Rainbow Jersey giveaway, and a Carlos Beltran 2004 Playoff Bobblehead giveaway. Visit Astros.com/promotions for ticket and info. I understand you're going to be involved in Legends Weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Home run derby?
Yep.
Yes. Lummer's participating in a home run derby for Legends Weekend.
Yeah, me, Preston Wilson, Luke Scott, and I believe Craig Biggio.
Yes.
It's just not fair.
You've had to work out a lot this year.
Man, I tell you what, my core is taking a beating this year. Are they testing for this?
Plummer played in the Hall of Fame Classic in Cooperstown earlier this summer.
I got to put on a good show for that guy. Maybe get a September call-up.
There you go. Rosters do expand in September, Blummer.
Jeremiah Randall, the head trainer for the Astros, would be in AJ's office immediately.
Well, that'll be cool.
Yeah, it will be. It's going to be a good weekend. I know there's going to be some other Astros coming back for that weekend, which is pretty cool. The Players Association, Alumni Association helps out in putting some of that stuff on, but it will be a good weekend.
Haniger goes down swinging. Brad Peacock, a 1-2 3/8 with a couple of strikeouts in the mix. For Marwin Gonzalez, his third multi-home run game of his career. They both came as right-hand hitters. Jake Marisnik also went deep to straightaway center field. That was a 2-run shot. Marwin's second of the day. Marwin hit 2 solo home runs, Jake a 2-run home run, and then Max Stassi connected on a 3-run bomb.
It is so good to see the Astros not only working some good ABs and scoring some big runs on big hits, but it's also nice to see them driving the ball out of the ballpark. That means all kinds of fun for the Astros in that dugout.
No Altuve, no Correa, no Springer. No problem today in an 8-3 game as we head to the 9th. Juan Nicasio takes over for the Mariners. He is their 5th pitcher of the day. Nicasio normally comes in a setup role with the lead, but Mariners bullpen getting a little thicker here with the acquisitions of Zach Duke and also Adam Warren, who we saw in the last inning. So Nicasio pitches here in an 8-3 deficit.
Yep, probably to get out there and get some work. Pitched on the 29th against Anaheim, only went a third of an inning.
Facing Evan Gattis. Gattis takes a called strike. Evan a couple of doubles today. Doubled in the first, doubled in the 7th. 2 for 4 overall. Astros trying to take 2 out of 3 in this series and bump their lead up to 5 games in the American League West. Mariners won the opening game of this series 2-0 to cut that deficit to 3 games. Astros bouncing back with a win last night to snap a 5-game losing streak and now leading by 5 in the 9th. Little flare into right field. Gattis with a 3-hit game. Evan will reach on a single to right.
It's a peach, hon.
Gattis with 2 hits last night and a 3-hit game today.
Got blown up, but it ends up being a hit.
about the natural habitat.
Yep.
Very comfortable here amongst the big trees of the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, you can go out in the backyard and pick up a new piece of wood.
Here's Yuli Gurriel. Yuli takes a called strike. Yuli 1 for 4 today. His 3 outs have been pop-ups. Singled in the 5th. The off day tomorrow might be a good one for Yuli. We rarely have seen him go a stretch of at bats where even the outs aren't really loud outs.
No, that's what I was going to agree with you on. Usually when he does have a tough stretch, he's usually still barreling it up, just hitting it right at guys. But we haven't even seen that normal, consistent exit velocity that we're accustomed to with Yuli.
Takes a pitch here. It's 1-2.
But he's been right in that 3, 4, 5 spot all year long, usually in that 5 spot, but maybe trying to do a little too much with his buddies out of the lineup, Altuve and Correa.
Nobody on this team consistently hits the ball harder than Yuli Gurriel, but over the past week and a half, 2 weeks since the All-Star break, it hasn't quite been the case, and now he throws the bat on a foul ball. Fouls it away. Josh Reddick will help him out. In fact, Josh is going to hand him the little stick there. "14 hits today for the Astros, 15 hits yesterday." Towards third base. Glove there by Vinci. No chance at a double play. They get the force on Gaddis for the first out of the ninth.
Watch the Astros your way by downloading the AT&T Sportsnet app from iTunes or Google Play, or visit AT&TSportsnet.com to stream on your computer. Log in with your cable account and you're all set. Available for those with AT&T Sportsnet in their TV subscription. Blackouts and territorial restrictions do apply.
Josh Reddick with the matching shades. Pretty good look right there. 1 for 4 today with an RBI single. Reddick 3 hits last night, 3 runs batted in and a home run. Josh didn't play in the first game as a starter, came on as a pinch hitter with James Paxton on the mound. A's have defeated the Blue Jays, so they sweep Toronto in the Oakland Coliseum. And what that means is, with that 8-3 score, if this score doesn't turn around for the Mariners, they will be tied with the A's. Just percentage points separating the two teams. 5 games behind the Astros. If this game does not turn around, the Astros leading 8-3. Reddick fouls one off his front foot and goes down.
Good to see him pop back up. Swing the bat pretty good, but he got smoked by that one. So there might be a little bit of panic setting in here with the Seattle fans, seeing that score-go final between Oakland and Toronto. Pretty good drought as far as playoffs are concerned for the Seattle Mariners. That banner hanging up here in 2001 has set a major league record with 116 wins. Proceeded to get knocked out in that first round, I believe, by the New York Yankees. There it is.
They've been waiting 17 years for their next playoff appearance. Longest wait of any of the 4 major sports. Where did this one get, Josh?
Probably right where there's no pad.
Yeesh.
Top of the foot. Not much padding on that top portion of that foot. Broke him down in a hurry. The best is when the game's over, you fight through the game and the game's over and you take your shoe off and it just blows up. He's probably wearing a pair of boots on the plane like he normally does. It'll be fun to stuff that thing in there.
And Josh will be heading back. Not really his old stomping grounds. That's more Oakland, but he did spend some time with the Dodgers before he became an Astro. Traded that final season with Oakland to LA for the final couple months of the year. Two runners on for the Astros. Excuse me, 1 runner on for the Astros. 2 runners on in this inning. Gaddis was forced out at second on the fielder's choice by Yuli, so Yuli replaced him on the base pass. 14 hits to 8. 8-3 the score. The Astros have led throughout. Led 3-0. Mariners scratched 4 hits together in a row in the bottom of the second to make it a 3-2 game. Astros made it 4-2 on the Marwin home run and tacked on 4 more in the 5th. The big blast, a 3-run home run by Max Stassi. Reddick takes it 2-2.
Making the Casio work. And last 2 days, ABs have been nice for the Astros, laying off pitches out of the zone. Pitches in the zone have been getting squared up. AJ Hinch talked about it when they were going through that rough patch, those 5 games where they're not getting those timely hits and not being selective enough and not taking advantage of mistakes in the zone.
Well, here's a case with no off day for the Mariners until their next series, where one series can blend into the other. Adam Warren had to throw at least 25 pitches last inning, and now Scott Service knows he's getting Juan Nicasio some work, but he would rather not see Nicasio throw in the mid-20s in a pitch count in this inning. He's at 15 right now. And Reddick draws the walk after being down in the count and hobbling around after fouling a pitch off his foot. Reddick will jog down to first base.
Should be entertaining, to say the least.
Which side of the plate's your home run swing?
I don't know. That Crawford box is so appealing.
Yep.
Gosh, just over my left shoulder.
So you got a decision to make.
I do.
Because you played in the
Hall of Fame Classic left-handed.
lefty.
And I didn't face a left-handed pitcher, but this is a real opportunity to make the choice. But I'm going to have to wear one of those weightlifting girdles around my midsection to keep everything intact.
Come on. I see you get after your workouts.
Got to.
One another count to Stassi.
Mold.
Yeah, it seems like every 5 years you have to work out twice as much to maintain.
Isn't that the truth?
There's a swing and a miss. It's 1-1.
Yeah, every year I played past, I think, 35, it felt like every offseason got shorter and shorter because I had to get into the gym sooner and sooner.
Stassi walked his last time. He's 1 for 3 with that 3-run bomb. There's a strike by Nicasio. It's 1-2. Looks like Will Harris has thrown enough pitches that he's ready to go. Astros went to Peacock for the 8th. It looks like Will Harris in the 9th. There is Will just standing around waiting for the inning to progress. Stays 1-2 on Stassi. AJ's looking forward to getting to LA for a couple of reasons. He has a lot of good connections down there in Southern California, especially a little further south, going down to San Diego. Maybe spending some time there between now and the next game on Friday. And also, he and his buddy Dave Roberts matched up in the All-Star game. So there's a chance a bottle of wine could be headed from the National League manager to the American League manager based on that All-Star game result.
The access that Dave Roberts has to wine, he better be.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and a couple ex-players, I think, went in on Red Stitch wines. Very good wine, but Dave Roberts has a very nice taste in wines.
2-2 pitch ripped up the middle for a base hit. Yuli throws on the line drive, so he will be held at third. Max Stassi with his second hit of the game. He's been on base the last 3 times. And the Astros matched their hit total from last night's game with 15.
That was a scud of a missile right back up the middle.
Well, wouldn't this be quite a game for Marwin, who already has 2 home runs and now bats with the bases loaded?
Man, the ball is ripped. It's a good noise off the bat.
Well, here we go with Juan Nicasio putting up a pitch count in the mid-20s the way the Astros are going this inning, trying to extend them even further. Marwin 2 home runs and 2 strikeouts in this game. Home runs coming as a right-hand hitter. The strikeouts as a lefty. As he takes a strike, it's 0-1.
It'd be kind of interesting if it did hit a home run. It'd be a home run from each side of the plate, 3 home runs total, and a grand slam. Might be a pretty good chance that he's playing some loud music on the plane.
I'd enjoy those moments.
Yeah, give him complete control.
0-2 the count. Astros getting a lot of at-bats in this game. Marwin batting for the 5th time in the 7th spot.
Command an issue for Nicasio with that slider. He's got too many over. Good one.
That might have been in the Mariners TV booth.
It's coming a little bit quicker than the one we got.
I know one earlier off the bat of Mike Zunino. There are the runners on base. Yuli Gurriel in third, Josh Reddick on second, Max Stassi on first. Astros trying to add to an 8-3 lead here in the 9th inning. Swing and a miss. Nicasio able to strike him out for the 2nd out of the inning. First strikeout for Nicasio, and that'll bring up J.D. Davis. Davis 2 hits today. Single to right, single up the middle. Also flied out deep to center and flied out to right. Astros trying to improve to 69-41 on the season. Heading into the off day, that would be one game behind where they were last year after 110 games. They were 70-40. They go on to win 101, their second highest win total in franchise history. Ground ball right side. Romine is there, and that'll do it for the Astros in the ninth. Bases left loaded. 8-3 lead heading to the bottom half. Toyota, let's go places. And by Arctic, overbuilt, not overpriced. George Springer's World Series ring. Hopefully we'll see Springer back in LA as he had the day off today. Hopefully we'll see Altuve back shortly after that, as he hangs out on the top of the dugout rail, looking on as the Astros try and finish off an 8-3 lead with Will Harris on the mound for the Astros in the ninth.
44 games so far this season for Will Harris. Whip at 1.23, 48 strikeouts.
Here's Cameron Maben. Maben's been on base twice today, a walk, a run scored. He also singled and lined out. Cameron tried to advance on a ball in the dirt. Max Stassi threw him out heading to second. One of the two big plays of the game for the Astros. The other one came with the bases loaded in a 3-2 contest all the way back in the second, when D. Gordon lined into a double play to end the inning. Maben takes a called strike. It's 1-1. Dallas Keuchel for 7, Brad Peacock for the 8th, and now Will Harris trying to close things out. Maben trying to hold up, but he goes around. Will with a nasty breaking ball. It's 1-2. Three and two the count. Maben, Mike Zunino, Guillermo Heredia due up for the Mariners in this inning. Mariners have Toronto coming in, as we mentioned, beginning tomorrow for a 4-game series. And Giles will be activated for the Blue Jays beginning tomorrow, and John Gibbons has said he will be given a chance to be the closer for that team. And the Mariners will head on the road playing the Rangers, the Astros, and the A's in a 10-game road trip after this 4-game set with the Blue Jays coming up at Safeco Field. Leadoff walk here, bottom half of the 9th inning in a 5-run game. Here's Mike Zunino.
Not ideal, but some of those pitches were just off the edge. Didn't get the calls for Will Harris.
Zunino 1 for 3 with a run scored. Takes a strike. Curveball drops in for a strike. It's 1-2. Zunino caught Monday night's game, catching tonight or this afternoon. Chris Herman caught the middle game of this series. Zunino thought he checked his swing. He's still at the plate, but Gabe Morales said he went around, and Zunino walks back to the dugout.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he called that or if he called it on the swing, because he doesn't point at the hitter, but it was just a pretty mundane strike 3 called.
It's like he could have got him swinging or looking. Either way, it's a strikeout.
Yeah, who cares? He struck him out.
Here's Heredia. The fans at home who are keeping score one another.
That's true.
I'm going to say called strike based on the Morales reaction. 0-2 the count. Mentioned the Astros trying to get to the 110 game plateau with 69 wins. It would be their second best record in franchise history through 110 games. Last year's team 70-40. In the right field, Heredia with a base hit. So the Mariners with 2 on here in the bottom half of the 9th inning. This is the part of the lineup you would prefer to see Will Harris lock it down. You'd rather not see it get around to the Gene Seguras and Nelson Cruzes in this lineup in a 5-run game. Romine, the batter, the number 8 hitter. He grounds one towards the right side. Yuli makes the play to second. They get the 1 out there. No chance for a double play. Heredia raced on the fielder's choice, and the Astros 1 out away from a series victory.
Good play by Yuli getting that lead runner.
Here's Zach Vinci. He's had a nice debut for the Mariners. 2 for 3 with an RBI. Vinci a single and an RBI in the second, also a base hit in the 7th inning. Oh, 0-2 the count. Alice Keuchel for 7 innings of work. Will Harris trying to get the 27th out. Check swing, and he does check. To second base goes Romine on the pitch in the dirt. It'll be a wild pitch charge against Will.
Ooh. Borderline on the check swing. Tough way to end the game on check swings. I'm not too sure too many umpires would like to do that.
Held up again on a pitch in the dirt. Astros getting bullpen action going just in case here, with Will sitting at 20 pitches. Hector Rondon, who closed out last night's game, beginning to loosen up. Rondon picking up the save in that 5-2 victory. His 10th of the season. Swing and a miss. This game is over, and the Astros come back after losing the opening game 2-0 to win 5-2 and 8-3 and take 2 out of 3 from the Mariners on the road and improve their lead in the AL West to 5 games. Both the Mariners and the A's are now 5 games back. Astros will enjoy this off day. Marwin with a couple of home runs, and the Astros with 4 overall. Play more coverage coming up, including our post-game show right around the corner.